like he said, there were so many loopholes that we didn't realize on day one.
Tell me about some of them. Like what you all
Like,
didn't consider and then later you realized.
like for example, we didn't realize that there are going to be moments when we are going to go to a city and we're going to have to give more time, because like when we were in Bangalore, the first 2 days we couldn't do anything because it was raining. It and there was a storm and there was an alert and all the offices were shut, colleges were shut. We had to do our workshop in 2 colleges which had to be pushed, so we had to push our dates in Bangalore itself. So all our bookings for beyond Bangalore were going to get affected. And these are not the things that we thought about, that suddenly in November, December is going to rain in Bangalore. It's such a random thing to happen. It's bloody global warming. It's not normal. Then again, like we
Not
had to like
not only during the trip, like even when we were planning, right? Like people used to ask us a simple question like, how will you carry so many clothes? And answer used to be like, we'll get it couriered from one city to another and then we'll figure out. And then what we realize is like we're sitting in one city for like less than 2 to 3 days. So operation, like in today's day and world, when you live in metros like Bombay and Pune, Blinkit system with like 10-minute delivery, you forget that the entirety of India doesn't function like this. So even when we reached certain cities, like it was easier for us to just send clothes back to Pune, but we could not get anything from Pune to a city because it's such a short period of time. If we have moved from that city, we can't just stay in a city so that a courier box arrives. And because our planning is such last minute that we can't even book hotels too many in advance. So things that we took for granted like Blinkit, Zeptos, etc. of the world were too much. Like when we moved to the cities, like we realized, everything is not as comfortable as it seems in a metro tier one city. It's not going to be the same when we travel. Like
even with like editing,
Yeah.
like what we were editing when we were here, like we started putting out videos 2 months before we wanted to leave. And then once we were on the road, we realized that between doing the interviews, editing the interviews, driving, figuring out the logistics of that city and finding the right person, there was no time. Like we were like 24 hours is not enough, and we were getting burnt out like that. Like there was,
You all are driving firstly and then
Yeah.
you're doing all of this along with it.
and it's crazy. We're like working while, like one of us will be driving, the other one will be working. What? The driving or the working? Which one are you doing?
everything is
But yeah, so like, and even putting ourselves out on the internet, like we're both social people. We're, at least I think I'm an ambivert, he's an extrovert, and we thought we could talk to anybody. But when you go to a city where you don't know anything, and especially when we were in a few places in South India, there is a language barrier. But funnily enough, it's not so much. We went with the notion that it's there. We made that strong in our heads that it's there. And the first couple of days, we were very like, apprehensive of not going and talking to anybody because maybe they may not understand. But it's not like that. If you go and ask any person Hindi or English, they will tell you their preferred language. And then you communicate with them.
But even in the South Indian villages,
Yes.
Yeah. Everywhere. So,
Everywhere.
like, there is this notion on the internet saying, like, you go to South India, no one's going to talk to you, or they are going to be rude to you, they're going to slap you and shit. It's not that way, man. It's one of the most sweetest and kindest people that we met.
And so safe.
And we told, like, one of the locals told us a very simple thing. Like, you don't assume that they would know a certain language to speak. Give them a choice. Either from Hindi or English, they would know one for sure, and they will communicate to you. What usually happens is people go with the notion, and it's also to be with the way you talk to someone, right? You also being like, he must know Hindi or English, and then you start having a full-fledged conversation. You need to also understand that they might not know English or Hindi. You need to give that kind of a respect to them as well, and then they will answer back to you. They will give you a proper response. Not only in terms of talking to random people. For the first couple of days, just taking our camera and starting to talk to camera was so difficult. Like, we felt stupid people just holding a camera like this and then talking and being like, hey, hi guys, etc. It wasn't the same. Or even to take a camera and go out in public and just start
We
shooting.
would forget. The first couple of days, though, we forgot to, like, because we would not eat a lot through the day and we would go into a restaurant and we would be hungry. We would end up finishing our
Yeah.
meal and then be like, we didn't shoot anything here. And
Like
that
shit,
would just.
photo रह गया खाना
So
लेने.
it's the stuff I cringe about, which you all were doing all the time, basically
Yes.
taking food, taking
Yeah.
pictures of your food
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
This has become our extended arm now. Like everywhere we go, we just have to do like this. Like yeah, we have to carry a camera everywhere we are.
But then, of course, it took about a week or two for us to like realize what we were doing. And then there were different kind of loopholes. Like every time we would feel like, okay, we've achieved
Lost
this.
something.
Okay, we figured out how to do this. There would be 10 other things in the line that we don't know what to do about.
Like I think so. It's been a constant learning journey.
Yeah, constantly. And as much as we feel accomplished, there's a lot of like anxiety built in. Like, are we doing enough? Have we seen enough? Have we spoken to enough people? Have we, like, put out the best content? Like, everything we do, can we do better? And that is never good. Like, you people talk about external pressure. Here there's only internal, because externally nobody is pressurizing us, honestly.
Because it's a very unique concept, we don't even know what to expect. Like,
Exactly. Even we don't know what to deliver.
that's the best thing, right? You all can just do whatever you like.
But no, of course, we wanted to make sure that to have like a more precise framework as to what we wanted to do. And I think that was one of our biggest concern, to like have like a more streamlined approach to this entire project.
Because like it's like India or each city in India has so much unique flavors to offer that it's probably impossible to do it in 3 to 5 days. And like we have to cramp so many things in those 3 to 5 days that when we finished phase 1, we felt like we are not able to do the justice to each city. Like to give you an example, right, Varkala has such a huge amount of history in terms of temples. Like they have temples going to 500 AD and all. But at the same time, they have a great amount of beaches and surfing. There is food, and we're staying in Varkala for 3 days. So it's a very touristy city. But even after seeing everything, right, we felt like, oh, we could have done a lot more in Varkala. Like after we left, we had this thought that, we should have done surfing in Varkala. Why did we not do surfing in Varkala? Or like in every city that we have gone to, there has been something that we have been like, ye to karna chahiye tha. Or even simple things, there are so many great food joints. Like no matter how many, like 3 meals a day eating outside for regularly, we still feel like, we should have eaten at this place or we should have eaten that place. Like take Pune as an example, right? In 5 days, how many food joints will you cover? You probably might not be able to cover KP entirety. Like there is just like KP में भी 5 दिन कम पड़ जाएंगे just to eat food. So that what happens to us in each city, that we feel like अरे यहाँ पे तो और करना चाहिए. Which also restrains our timeline, saying like, because we have to complete certain things in certain months, we can't just keep on extending those particular city. One of the things that we ended up doing in phase 1 was we extended almost 5 to 6 cities by one day, saying like, nahi, let's just wait, because every week we have to take 1 day at least, which is just pure play operational work that we have to sit in the room and do, which is like one of the most boring days, because we wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, go to the hotel, have breakfast, come back, take our tables and beds, and just sit and work and edit till late in the night by like 10:30. But that's a day that is getting ticked off from 365, but technically we are not saying, we are not sitting in any city. So like there's no tick off in terms of we saw this, we ate that, or there's no content that is created.
Yeah. So it's not like we've not done anything. We've ticked off like about 50 things from our to-do list. Yeah. But it's not substantial when you think about it in the 365-day journey. It's substantial in what our approach to that 365 days. So
like it just sounds like you all were sitting and doing this, but that took like 10-12 hours. Yeah.
And I generally it would. In any other job that we would have had, we would have days where we are like just doing, I don't know, table work, literally, like
That's
Excel
good.
sheets and this sheet and that email, this email, he's editing like 40 videos, like we do that. But then that day we've done no traveling. we've done no seeing, we've done no interviews, we've met nobody. So in our head we are like ki, oh, so this day is a waste. But it's really not, because like we will need those days, but our heads don't sort of allow
and
us
it's a
to
struggle
believe it.
from what do we put on our Instagram, like, because we want to show the traveling part of our journey, showing us working in a room is boring for us, right? And we have shot 2-3 videos like that where we're just sitting in the room and working, but even at that point we forget to shoot it, because in one room how many angles will you take shots from, and how creative can you get? Because if you start shooting creatively, then we'll stop working. So it's like this constant battle to find this balance between doing operational work creatively.
And you all don't even have a third person like a photographer
No,
or something, so it's
none
just
of
you all
that.
taking pics of each other. Yeah.
I remember this one day, it was in Mysore and it was raining outside. So we decided to have our in-room work day that day. And we had breakfast, we came up and we were sitting, okay? And we worked for like 8-10 hours straight. We ordered in our lunch. We didn't even go down to have lunch. Like we got it upstairs, we ate. And then in the evening, we were like, shit, we've shot nothing. So literally for the next 1 hour, we just took the cameras in different directions and pretended to take shots in different time zones.
Yeah.
Like this is morning.
Some was
This
with
is
open with light, with some was with closed lighting. So we're trying to control lighting as much as we can in a room, and then figure
and
it
it's
out.
funny to like, we have no shame in admitting this, because that's what every creator will have to do, because however beautiful it looks on Instagram or in pictures or whatever, there's so much work that goes behind just creating that 1 20-second reel. But like, newfound massive respect for creators who've been doing this for years.
He has been doing this for years.
Pati ko kabhi respect nahi
Yeah,
milta.
exactly.
No, but you had people to assist
Yeah, I
you.
had a
Come on,
team.
let's like don't say like you had
I
to
remember
do it
those
all.
pointing reels.
Yeah.
Like my job, like I have to tell my team, I'm like, listen, I have time from 5:10 to 5:20, 10 minutes I can shoot. So you just tell me when the camera team is ready. I have to come like, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm like, done, guys.
And then that.
Like, I'm like, do you need anything from me? Do you need a voice? So they're like, nahi, I'm संभाल So I miss my team also a lot. I'm like, because now that when you're doing everything, right, you realize how much time it takes for scripting a video, editing it, uploading it. Like everything that we took for granted, it's just we have a lot more appreciation towards it now.
And you also have that thing, you'll have to do one thing every day, like you have one post every day. So it's just a constant thing. You all can't be like, okay, fine, today I don't feel like it. Even if you don't feel like it, you have to do it. And just the next day again, the same thing.
When we came to Pune, we decided to like really take a break because we were going crazy. And the first 2-3 days, we put up a few reels. And then it's been 7 days, we've not put any reel. And that's making us uncomfortable because like, oh shit, we've lost our consistency. But we also need to realize that sometimes you're gonna have to like stop, like not put that kind of. But then we also think that, oh, we've decided to do it for 1 year, then why we are not doing it every day? That it's like a constant bugger in our head that you're not doing enough. You just do it every day. Just put at least one thing interesting, and then the whole number game of like, oh, this reel didn't do very well. Oh, this reel did okay.